Hey guys, welcome to the Road Back Home podcast. This is a lighthearted comedic Islamic podcast. We like talking about important topics, but in a laid-back setting.
The goal for the pod is to help people on their journey back to their creator and to laugh along the way. We are your hosts,
I'm Sam Eden, and this is
Imran Abid Rabbo. Enjoy the show.
All right, welcome back to Road Back Home.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
We're
salam.
back with another
Episode. What episode we on? We on episode 9, brother.
Is it?
Yeah, it's episode 9.
Allahumma barik.
Alhamdulillah, man. Almost in the double digits.
Yes. That's what I like to hear.
Is it? I'm trying to hear 3. Once we hit 100, we're clear. Like, to me, like, yeah. Like,
We tried.
oh, that's more than tried, brother. If we ain't if we ain't make it by like 100, like if we still like, oh, somebody might like this. Like if we still in that, yeah, we gotta close up shop.
Nah, inshallah.
But that's a good, healthy attempt.
100? Oh, yeah, for
100,
sure.
for
I think we already got loyal fans, man.
Honestly, yeah. Are we counting ourselves? Or I'm probably one of our biggest fans.
Are you?
Oh, for sure.
I'm one of our biggest critics. No, bro, I was
You're
watching one of
my
the
biggest
episodes.
critics for sure.
Yeah. Just stop clearing your throat throughout the damn episode.
My bad. Yeah, I'll just die. No worries. You were saying?
What are we talking about today?
Well, honestly, I want to talk about something you said the other day before we left that
Stop.
coffee shop.
Stop.
We were talking about leftovers, and okay, just to set the scene, like we had a couple buddies with us, and they
Where
had
was this again?
This is Camarillo,
Oh,
False.
right.
yeah, and a couple of our friends had one of those sponge cakes,
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
and they-
yes. Oh my. I don't know. I genuinely forgot. Okay. Yes.
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
and because they're so close to us, like I haven't had that particular, I haven't had that particular sponge cake, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try a little bit, but it was only because you was already eating it.
Can't let it go to waste.
Right. So then I was like, you know what? It won't hurt for me to try it. I just tried a bit. No, I was done.
Yeah.
And then I was like, isn't that kind of strange how we just ate somebody's leftovers? And you were like, bro, I do that all the time. And that begs to question, where are the lines
Mm.
where leftovers are concerned? Right.
Yeah.
So for me,
Mm.
I boxed this in a couple places, right? I was like, okay, the length of time a leftover is allowed to still be eaten. I'll give you mine, then I'll ask you yours.
Mm.
For me, if it's in the microwave overnight or if it's out on the table overnight, I'm not eating it.
You're talking about leftovers in general.
Oh, generals, yeah.
Or you're not even talking about strangers' leftovers.
Oh no, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that. Don't worry about it. I'm just waiting
Okay.
to get on you for that.
Uh-huh.
That was insane. But listen, so leftover, my rules, I
Uh-huh.
can't eat something that's been out in the air for over a day. That's crazy to me.
Okay.
All right. Microwave is the same as having it on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If it's in a fridge, give it 2-3 days. Depends, because some things go really bad really
Yeah.
quick. So it's it's iffy. there.
Guacamole, avocado.
Rice. I heard rice. Apparently, you get rice poisoning. This is a thing. We got to check it out. But sometimes I let it slide
Mm-hmm.
because it should be like jasmine rice or something. You know,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let that go to waste. you know.
Yeah.
But so that's leftovers at the house.
Mm.
Type of leftovers, how long could be left out. What are your rules for leftovers in the house? I'm just talking about.
Okay. In the house, let's just say when my mom wants to throw it out, I'm just like, nah, just leave it one more day. I got it. I'll eat it. Let me ask you a question. When is your mom throwing out food?
When?
Yeah. What's the
do you mean?
longevity of her tolerance versus your tolerance? Would you throw out food before her, or would she throw out food?
Oh, she would throw it before me.
Oh, would she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she would do it on like the second or third day.
Okay.
No, maybe third day. I think she would do.
Okay.
For me, I'm actually no. We're probably about the same.
Yeah, so I always push that limit. I wait till my mom says I'm gonna throw it out. I'm like, you know what? I've been wanting to eat that all week.
You're one of those.
Yeah, and then she's like, sometimes she just be like, no, you're not. And then I come home genuinely wanting to eat it, and I'm like, she's like, I threw it out. I was like, I literally told you I'm gonna eat it. And he's like, no, you always say that, and I'm like, you're always throwing it out.
She tired of
You
your
ain't never
ass.
give me the chance.
Okay, but like,
So to answer your question as well, it depends on the food. Like if it's chicken, if it's meat, I do agree with you on this. If it's just sitting out, nothing covering it, nah, definitely not. Because you got flies, it gets super. Even rice gets super stale.
yeah.
So if it's covered, even if it's just covered with a napkin,
Okay.
then I'll probably eat it.
Okay, for sure. Okay, what about like friends? What about other people? I'm not talking about family no more.
Yeah.
I'm talking about friends.
Friends' food,
Friends' food.
I'll eat. Anything.
What do you mean anything?
Anything. You didn't finish your pudding? Let me help you out. Eggs? What else? Ice cream? No problem.
Ice cream?
Popsicle?
Popsicle.
You couldn't finish it? You got a
Bruh.
brain freeze?
Okay, but you have no questions? There's no like
I mean, so long as
lines?
he don't got HIV,
So how you know? You don't-
AIDS.
Okay, but listen. Okay, for me, it's like there's type of leftover and then there's type of friend.
What does that even have to do with food?
I have no idea. I don't know how it gets transmitted. But for me, like I probably won't even hug you because I don't know how it works. Genuinely, so I don't know. Like I might not return your salam sometimes, like because I'm not sure how this spreads. So until I'm fairly certain, yeah. But this is for me, like it's type of food and type of friend, right? And those go up and
You
down.
know what?
So,
You're
for
right.
example,
You really thought this through.
I had to, bro. I'm a germaphobe by heart. You know,
my.
I never used to eat my mom's leftovers. I couldn't, even as a kid. I
Wow.
was such a germaphobe. Like it would make me.
So
throw
you don't
up.
eat off the floor if
No,
something.
No.
Nothing. Yeah, 5-second rule. Nothing.
Oh, depend again. It all depends, right? If it's something
the
like
place, like if you in Oakland, San Francisco.
no, if it's in my house, right? And
Yeah.
I know my floor's not like that
Yeah,
dirty,
yeah.
right? And it's a chip, yeah, I might eat it,
Yeah.
right? But if it's a chip outside, that's not happening. That's not going in my mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is like type of friend, type of food, right? Really, really close friend depends. Like you know, my rules are not as strict,
Makes sense.
right? But if it's a friend I haven't met in years, I don't know what you've been up to.
That's true.
I'm not sharing your drink. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Fairs.
know what you've been up to, bro. And like for like ice cream, forget about it.
Really depends on my
Popsicle.
mood.
I mean like popsicles and like those. And I'm not saying like share a bowl of ice cream,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like in leather bees or whatever. No, I'm talking like
Leftovers.
yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Fruit, for example, like you buy an apple. I'm not buying the same apple. Are you crazy? You just cleaned your teeth in the apple. That's insane. I'm not doing that.
My teeth got whiter as soon as I'm munching.
Exactly. Now I'm about to eat your plaque. Yeah, you get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's a limit. But you know what line I would never cross? I believe you have strangers leftovers.
You don't know. They might be Muslim one day.
They could be Muslim today. I wouldn't care. Are you crazy?
I'm joking. But yeah, I have. But to my defense, it was more like finger food. It was like fries. You know what I mean? Like those types of things is difficult. Like can't really go wrong
How
with
did this
that.
happen? Did you wait for them to get up? Like, were you
No,
waiting?
no. Genuinely, I think we walked into a store. I think this was in SoCal. Okay, we ordered food. We're waiting, and then the people just literally get up as we're going to sit down. They get up and they leave, bro. It looked like some of the food was untouched. I was like, bro, come on now. You know what's gonna happen. It's gonna get thrown out. I was like, bro, y'all want to eat from it? I think this is when we took the Shabab trip to SoCal for one of the mass conventions. And so just went over there. Ibrahim, I think, was with us. So you know him. He went over there, grabbed it, and we just started munching on it.
But were you watching them like touch? Did you see them touch it?
No.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I can't do strangers, bro. I can't do that.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
It's all
what
good,
kind of
man.
food.
I mean, we out here trying to save people from getting bad deeds. You know what I mean? Wasting food.
Don't pin this on them. You out here trying to save $1, trying to get some fries for the low.
I mean,
Sometimes literally because they fall. on the
hey,
floor.
that order went from a large to a medium. That's all I'm saying.
Some of them stale, some of them not. You know,
Huh?
some of them stale, bro. You just walked into a restaurant and said, "Hey."
No, I said my order went from a large to a medium because I just finished eating munching on the strange food. He said I'm saving $1.
Did you ever walk in like, hey, you gonna eat that?
Nah, never. Nah, no way.
Would you like? How desperate would you have to be to do that?
Not very desperate.
Okay, let's say I'll paint you one picture and then we can move on to the actual podcast. But
Right.
like, if you see somebody
Yeah.
about to, like a worker,
Mm.
throwing away
Mm.
like some chicken tenders,
Oh,
like,
definitely.
You stopping there?
Yeah. Be like, hey, yo.
You don't know the history of these tenders.
I know this.
They could
I mean,
very well not be tender. You eating it?
yeah. Because chances.
That's hey. I don't need no explanations. I know who you are now. I know who you are.
My question is though, before we move on real quick, would you eat my leftovers?
What kind of leftovers? Again, I told you type of friend, type of leftover.
I just bit into a burger. One bite.
Probably do that.
All right,
Yeah, I'll do that.
We
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah, look, I trust you. Okay, so what we talking about today? Something been on my mind recently.
Mm.
Dreams and goals and aspirations, all of that.
That's a deep topic.
It is. I just want to talk about the, sort of like the early stages of wanting to chase something,
Mm.
and how you go about that.
That would take me back to my childhood, bro.
You had goals in your childhood?
Dreams. I had dreams, but not goals.
No, but
dreams.
like a real dream, not like, oh, yeah, I want to be Spider-Man one day. You know? Nah, just laying in the ditch hoping something bites you. Just, no, I mean, real dreams. You didn't have real dreams as a kid.
Yeah, bro. I wanted to go to the NBA.
So did everyone else.
All right, that was a dream. It started somewhere.
Okay, but like I'm talking real dreams, brother.
What do you mean real dreams? That is an oxymoron.
What I mean by that is like a dream that you have like as in the
That's
perspective
actually
as
achievable?
an adult. No, as an adult, because no dream in the beginning is
Yeah, I guess.
technically achievable.
But when you're older, maybe it's more realistic.
yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
When I say realistic, I don't mean like, oh, like just go
I
from
get you, I
like
get
this
you.
to this. I mean like
Uh-uh.
you probably wouldn't think about the NBA or becoming a professional anything.
Now? Oh, of course. I mean, I'm barely cracking 5'9". 5'8". Honestly, I'm not even cracking 5'8", but let's just say 5'9". Y'all didn't hear that one
I was
from
gonna
me.
say, brother, you know, I was gonna say 5'9". You took somebody's leftovers. Yeah. So day one, I set out something to do, and I have to have what do I want? Why do I want it? And then I say, okay, I'm gonna work backwards from here.
You reminded me of like a protest. Do you just do that? Like, do you just protest in your living room? Like, what do I want? Be an engineer. When have I want it? 2022.
Yeah, no, I in my head, it's an ongoing like, hey, yeah, we gonna do this. Yeah, like every day there's like a little chorus, like,
Yeah, you look back, ain't nobody there, so it's just you.
yeah, one man protest. Hey, shut up. But yeah, no, that's those three.
When
things
did you start thinking that way, though?
I would say in the last 3-4 years.
Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
not
but-
like when you were 18.
no, because when I was 18, it's just whatever I felt at the time. So my
Yeah,
goals will
yeah.
change week in, week
I
out.
feel you.
Right, like
yeah.
1 week I'll think like, hey, being like, you know, a good dresser was the goal.
Mm.
And then the next week, that wasn't the thing anymore. It
Mm.
wasn't like the currency. So it's like now it's like about being athletic. So I might go to the gym for 2 days. You know, like every week it kind of changed. Like whatever was cool, whatever.
Mm.
Now it's like I really need to know why I want something, because if I'm gonna chase this day in day out, like I need to know why I want it. Which is kind of why like right now, like I tell myself, okay, I want money. I need to go work to provide. I'm almost scared. Like if I get it, I might lose myself.
In like what sense?
Like the only reason I feel like some days I get up is to work.
Yeah.
That if I no longer have that incentive to work, which is to pay the bills, like let's say like you just hit it big, you just hit $100 million or whatever 1 year. There's no incentive to get up to work, so I feel like I might unravel.
in
That's
like
a
a
small
negative.
fear.
Are you talking about like Islamically? Talk to me more about that. Like, what do you mean unravel? In what
Well,
sense?
okay, it would be more so if I didn't know like the purpose of life.
Yeah.
But then there's the purpose of life that you know and you say with your mouth. Then there's a purpose of life that you live and breathe every day.
Yeah.
Right? So like sometimes I tell myself I'm going to work to make more money to take care of my family. And that's true.
Hmm.
But there might be that part like because this is my obligation.
Yeah.
As soon as like that's gone, the obligation of like still worshiping God,
Mm-hmm.
like it would have to really be like a boulder in my life, like unmovable for me to like not unravel.
That's why it's so important. And like we've talked about this, but the aspect of like disassociating any partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and like genuinely going back to the fact that like I'm worshiping Allah to worship Allah. I'm not worshiping Allah as a transactional action. That because this, then this, because he gives me this, then I'm gonna pray. So I think it's yeah, that's always a scary thought, honestly. It's like when you get what you want, what's gonna end up happening type of situation.
Yeah. And then the medium of what I chose, like I ended up choosing comedy, was like what was I the most advantageous in?
Mm.
Like if I was like a savvy salesman, probably would have gone into like cars and selling houses or whatever. But because I'm not, I just so happen to be better at making people laugh than the average person, I would say.
Mm.
Not necessarily the best or whatever. I just felt finding myself go down this route.
Mm.
And I've tried other things. Like I want, like if I knew designs, like if I knew to be a designer, like I had an eye for design.
Mm.
Like our boy Farouk, shout out 5 Pillars.
Yeah, 5 Pillars. I taught him everything. He didn't tell you?
He told me he got up one day and came back and his fries was gone. That's all he said. Yeah.
I thought that's supposed to be between us.
So if I knew if I could design, I probably would have done it. In fact, I spent some time trying to design stuff. See, I'm glad you're laughing because I laughed at myself later. So I designed some shirt, right?
Yeah.
And I went on Twitter and I just caught it straight. It wasn't even towards me. It wasn't even towards me, but it was just like, you know, when you read something, you're like, man, what's up about me? Like someone said, stop buying shirts on Amazon, throwing a logo on them, and then calling yourself a designer. I went back and deleted my stuff.
Give it a chance, man.
Hell no, bro. He read me, bro. That person completely, like, I feel like they was staring at me when they tweeted that, bro. I was like, oh my God, I'm not about to let this fly. I have 5 colors too. Like, I bought a 5-pack of shirt. I don't know what it was, but I tried like everything. So I chose the most advantageous, bro. But yeah, what about you?
Dreams, goals.
How do you break it down? Like, okay, I have a dream to do X, Y, Z. What do you do?
Dude, I seek advice from a lot of people. I don't know if it's benefited me. Not because it's bad advice, but maybe I'm bad at taking advice. I'd like to be my worst critic, you know? But I do. I think it's a good characteristic to have where I'm always seeking advice because I doubt my know-how or like where I know what I want to do or whatever. But the question is, when they give me that advice, what am I going to do? So I sought a lot of advice when it comes to like, okay, career, when it comes to entrepreneurship, business, like all of that advice. And then the question was, now what am I going to do? And a lot of the advice was around, believe it or not, like SMART goals. You heard of SMART goals?
No.
Like the what do they call it? The acronym SMART. So like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. Mm-hmm. It's like anything that you want in life, use SMART goals to achieve it. So for example, let's say at one point you wanted to get fit, right? No. What?
It's like at one point you was trying, but so it looks like you.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to be nice, and I'm still over here trying to.
That's good. that was such a stray, but all right, that's cool.
Completely unintended.
Yeah. All right. We'll argue about that later.
So no, but
at one point you cared about yourself. Yo, when that stop? That's wild.
No, but for real, give me an example. Like if I asked you, for example, what would you tell me? Like if you want to get fit, what would be a goal?
Count calories, days in the gym, certain workouts, and then like you measure it, per weight or if you
no. But like let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. Just because, just not to go back and forth, is someone, for example, could say, I want to lose weight, but is that specific enough? No.
Yeah.
They need to say, I'm trying to lose 10 pounds of fat, or I'm trying to gain 10 pounds of muscle. So be specific. When you're saying you want to get fit, be specific about what it is, right?
Yeah.
I want to be fit. That might mean I want to be able to run 5 miles in under X amount of time, right?
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you have as a goal, be specific about it, right? Because then it actually makes it easier to attain. And then you make it measurable. So like you said, counting calories, this, that, you can stand on a scale. It's not like this arbitrary thing, right? And then
I like that.
Yeah, and then attainable. Attainable means like, don't tell me you want to lose 50 pounds in a month.
Yeah.
Attainable and realistic are kind of like hand in hand, right? Because realistic is also you can't lose 50 pounds in a month. Attainable is saying like, okay, this is something that I get to. And so yeah, attainable, realistic, I'll just put them together, I guess. And then time bound. Give it a time. So say, okay, let's say in the beginning.
Open-ended, like I'm going to do this in a year.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Right. So that's kind of what I tried to do, but it's very difficult, man, because just life throws curveballs left and right. And if there's anything I learned in life, it's like 100% plan as best as you can to a certain amount. Don't over plan, because if you overanalyze and you plan for the next 2 months and then finally you start and then some curveball comes and all of a sudden that plan goes to waste. Yeah. It's like plan, but just be reasonable in your time planning. Like, just a day, 2 days, 3 days of planning, and then just start executing. And before you know it, the plan's going to start to change because things you didn't take into account start to happen.
I like the measurable idea. Like, yeah, don't come out and just be like, yeah, I'm going to do, and there's fat goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I want to be Hafiz Quran. Great. How are you going to get there?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I used to feel this way too. Like, instead of having like these big goals, I'd prefer like smaller milestones.
Yeah.
And they feel better, but also like the to-do list situation. Like if my to-do list looks like make my business profitable, that's going to stay on my to-do list for the next 5 years.
Facts.
And then you feel like year 1, year 2, I haven't done anything.
That's
but
true.
If you like cut it all the way down to like the bare bones things, like, okay, today I'm researching websites and around, the best businesses around me in my niche or whatever, and I'm going to research and figure out the things that work for them so I
Yeah.
can put it towards my own. That's the only thing I'm working on today or this week.
Yeah.
Right. And you need that. You know that feeling of like striking off something on the to-do list.
100%.
Sometimes I'd be putting stuff on there that I already did just so I could strike it.
I did that too.
On slow days, I might put brush teeth on there. You know what I'm saying? And then I might say with mouthwash. You know what I'm saying? Like I might do small stuff. So then when I look back, I'd be like, boy, I brushed my teeth today.
Achieved
You know what I'm
a
saying?
productive day.
Yeah, I might have to break that all the way down. Brushed 32 teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to feel like, oh, there's this train is moving. You know? So definitely don't like not huge goals.
Yeah. But dude, it's so much harder than it is. Like I'll give you an example, right? We all know this hadith. What's the hadith about doing the small things?
Allah loves the small deeds even though they're more consistent. As
Right?
opposed to
Allah
like
loves the small deeds that are consistent. Because bro, I remember like not too long ago, Sheikh Abdul Nasir Jangda from Qalam Institute in Texas mentioned something. And he was essentially saying, like I'm paraphrasing, but that having consistency is essentially like a superpower. It was either Sheikh Yasser or Sheikh Abdul Nasir Jangda. Forgive me for getting it wrong. But it is. And when I thought about it, having consistency with small things or just in general is one of the most difficult things in life to build.
habits, yeah.
It's just so difficult because you bro, like think about it. Think about how much you can get done if you were consistent with the small deeds. Imagine how amazing it would be if we really stuck to, let me just read 2 lines of Quran a day. Half a page of Quran a day. Bro, literally less than 5 minutes. 10 minutes max. But we can't even do that because it's so difficult to stay consistent with something. But if you did that, over a year, how much Quran have you read? Over a year, how much money have you saved? Over a year, how much have you memorized? Over a year, when you multiply and you expand, and that's why actually some of the most dangerous sins are
also
those
the
small ones that you do on a consistent basis that you're just like, eh. But those big deeds, they hurt you and you repent and you do tawbah from them, right? But those small ones, oh, it's not a big deal. On a day of judgment, you come, it's like a mountain, right? Same thing though with the good deeds though too, right? Is it better to read the Quran once in an entire month during Ramadan, for example, right? Or read it, for example, 3 times in the entire year, including in Ramadan, which is actually very achievable if you break it down. It's even less than. So point is, it's like, we're just so used to those short bursts, instant gratification.
Yeah, but also I feel like like whenever I'm like, let's say I'm doing like one tiny thing every day, I'm also like, dude, this is gonna take forever. Like I want it all.
You're right.
Not like, so I want to move faster. So what I do is I end up doing like too much in a day.
Yeah,
And I burn myself out. And then the second day I'm kind of burnt out. And then by the third day I gave up.
I know. It's so bad. It really is. It's a psychological thing that we just gotta break, bro.
The funny thing about the small and consistent thing, I had like a gym class in what's called junior college, CRC.
I took one.
Yeah, I took it just to make up the units to be full time, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember I had to like show that I was improving because that's how they pass you.
Grade, yeah.
And I had I bent a number on the bench, right? And every week I would like not go, or sometimes go, but I'd sneak out when he wasn't looking, whatever. And so I just kept adding 5 to 10 pounds.
Oh my god.
By the end of the semester,
my
on
gosh.
paper, I was benching like 340. I was benching like 340, and I looked the same. So he was like, I was like,
Oh my god.
it was stupid, bro. But yeah,
I wish he tested you.
he just would have killed me. just kill me. Like, just let that drop on me.
No, dude. I'll give you an example. For me, right? I walk into my garage. Oh, it's disgusting. This is like just things everywhere in Tupperwares and like a typical Arab garage for the most part, right? And I tell myself I'm gonna organize it, and then I'm like, those dogs, and then you know how they squirrel. I like open a box and then I'm like zone in for an hour, and I come back and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I haven't gotten anything done because I just hyper focused on one specific task, for example, or like, so sometimes you also get too lost in the side quests, they call them, right?
But that's not a side quest. That's like, okay, so for example, I'll give you the like analogy, right? Me starting a business and I get caught up with my website. That's not really a bad thing. It's not a side quest.
No, it is. I'm telling you it is. Because if you start to focus on the 5%, you got 95% of it done. The most, like the the gist of what needs to get done is done. That 5% is all super meticulous, detailed things that are going to take you another 2-3 weeks. But it's not necessary. It's not going to make or break. But because your mind hyper focuses on it and you just can't get away from it, you've now lost 2-3 weeks where you could have been focusing on putting product on that website. Do that. And then you can come back to all those small things. I've learned, and the more you listen to these successful entrepreneurs, these successful businessmen, right now, like you and I, and they're talking about how
Catching strays today, bro.
I included myself now.
I'm still, brother. Don't involve me in this. Like, I know I ain't successful.
I'm
But
just being honest. All right. Point is, that's what they talk about. Well, like they talk about just do it, and you'll learn, you'll iterate, you'll make the mistake, you'll figure it out. But don't.
They're saying make the mistake first. Like,
yes,
just
of course.
go ahead and
Yeah,
fail.
because you don't know if it's gonna work, if it's not gonna work. Why spend
True,
so
but-
much time on perfecting something that you have no clue whether or not it's gonna work?
I'll give you one caveat. Like, yes, you should technically want to just go ahead and fail quickly so you can iterate and just jump. But people have more money to lose. So we have, like, if I'm talking for me, I have more time than money. So I'm willing to put in 3 hours,
I get it.
right, to learn something from other people
Yeah.
than just spending $200 learning it doesn't work and then reiterating. I don't want to spend that $200 to learn.
But
I
it's your
want- I want-
time that you're spending.
What I'm saying is I have more time than money right now.
Yeah.
So when people say time is valuable, I'm like, yes, it is. But my time is not as valuable as I'm trying to make it out to be. Because how much am I making per hour?
Mm.
0. Well, then that's how much your time is worth for now. Right? So I would probably go ahead and research and learn and read and all these things for a week, 2 weeks. I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm
Yeah.
just saying this is how I do it. Because I don't have the money to go ahead and just jump into the market, get killed.
But see, no,
lose all my
you're
capital.
taking it the wrong way.
Mm.
An example, I'll give you an example, and this is from the podcast called "The Diary of a CEO" or CEO Diary or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Right? Dope podcast. One of my friends told me to listen to one of them. I listened to one of them, and it was amazing. Right? And he was giving an example. He said, "Oh, this college girl came to me and said she has this great idea. She has so much clothes that's in her closet. She never wears them, and I'm sure there's a lot of other girls that would want to wear some of her clothes that she's never really worn. And so now we can start this whole this rental process,
Airbnb, but for clothes.
right? Literally, like just you can just have it online and someone can borrow them,
Mhm.
right?" She's like, "Okay," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to think how much money do I need? Start getting investments." And she's already like, the business made it. He said, "Whoa. How about you validate the idea to begin with? What I want you to do right now is go take a piece of paper, write on it, if you would like to borrow my clothes, knock on my door. Tape it outside your apartment. See how many people knock." There's so many things that you can do to test and validate your idea that don't need a bunch of money or a bunch of time to you can begin to actually discredit your idea or validate your idea pretty damn quickly, right? And what he says is like, you should also, another tip that he gave was like, you should also always assume your idea is wrong,
Yeah, it's safer. Yeah.
right? So that's what I mean, right? Like, so for example, let's say you want to start X, Y, and Z. You can throw up a website and just say, "Hey, if you're interested in boom, 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 sign up now." See how many people sign up. How much is that going to cost you? $100? Not even less to get a domain and just throw it out there on your social media and say, "Hey, if you're interested in do, we're going to be dropping whatever, please sign up." You get 5 people sign up. All right, it's not worth it. I'm not going to drop it in 3 months. It's fine. You get 1,000 people to sign up, deliver in 3 months. Right? So
I
there's a
see.
lot of different ways to validate your idea without having a bunch of capital and without doing 3 weeks of research. Your research should be tested stuff, not research of just theory. It should be like, okay, I tested this, I did this, I put out this feeler. I'm getting good things. And then you begin to, see what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah. I like that. I did want to ask about, let's say for a specific idea, right? Like, let's say you're doing coffee, right? Because that's always been one of the things I always used to think about was like just jumping into the coffee world. How do you validate something that, I mean, technically, I guess I look at it like this, like you could validate it by just giving free cups of coffee out and seeing how many people enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or selling it for like very low at a farmer's market or something, right? How would you do that? How would you validate that idea? I mean, it's not every idea.
Coffee
is
beans? Like selling coffee beans like a brand? A coffee brand?
Yeah. Let's say coffee beans, right? Because a coffee shop, there's no way to actually get that done. Like you'd have to go in all
Pre-orders. You have to ask a sheikh if that's halal or not. But pre-orders, let's say you know where you can source it.
Yeah.
You've already talked to them. You know the price points. You know all of that. drop it. Literally, you have a website, you have everything. You say, hey, starting a company. I just started my coffee business. This is it, ethically sourced, yada, 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 yada. Go on there and pre-order now. They're going to get sold out super quickly. And, shipments are going to whatever. And see how many people actually go on there and buy. And if you get a high demand, now you can go and purchase those beans or whatever and then start that process. So now, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So So it's like you've already generated the traffic, but now what I don't know, that's why I'm saying, asking Sheikh, I don't know if it's halal for you to now sell something you don't have, and then you get the money and then you go buy it and give it to them. I don't know that. Like there's
there's some.
so you just got to double check about that. But even if that's not the case, there is other ways. We can always like talk about that. And I'm sure if you watch that podcast, like you'll get a lot of good ideas from.
What was the podcast called again?
I think Diary of a CEO.
Diary of a CEO. And do you remember the episode?
That one was the one who created Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And how he even came up with that was insane.
Oh, amazing.
Insane. I can tell you it right now, but it's better for you to watch it.
Okay, no,
Yes.
I will.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, well, Jazakallah khair, and Assalamu alaikum, guys. I'll catch you next week for part 2.
That was part 1. Join us next Monday for part 2.